do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. Let's make this just one screen. There you go. And we'll start off looking at GBPUSD with Owanda. I've had a huge retracement. A couple of my, few of my pairs in US 30. It's really retraced, but it is what it is. Very, very close to stuffing me out over here. Just watching it. Just moving my stop, making sure it's totally risk-free. And watching it. Alright, so if I zoom out of here, my daily time frame, this is our G here. Okay? Now we have to understand it's always about market structure, it's always about price action. It's always about the larger narrative. Now, in my opinion, I want to be in GU for the sell. Okay, we're at the top in a premium. The premium is against this line here, and I would love to be in for a sell. However, we must trade what we see, and in my opinion, we're day traders. We want to sell. Doesn't mean that when we get to the charts, it's going to be time to sell. Doesn't mean that. Okay, so what we have to do is we need to have the ability to trade and understand how the markets move via liquidity. Okay, now we're here. We saw a huge impulse down here, breaking some structure, but this impulse all the way down here, what we saw, which is a little bit concerning, is this. Even though we want to be in for the sell, okay, even though we want to be in for the sell overall, this market has been making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and then this impulse down here didn't break this low. So it's not telling us that it's ready to turn around yet. Now we don't know. It can make that decision anytime it feels like it, but at the moment, it hasn't given us no confirmation. Now it might decide to come up here 50% and then fall off, which is very, very possible. But at the moment, on this time frame here, it hasn't told us anything about selling off and breaking that, coming out of that impulse, out of this here, this range. Yeah, it hasn't said anything about coming out of this range at the moment. So we got down to the bottom of the range and it became, in my opinion, a discount because we was at the bottom of this range down here. All right, became a discount. And we've seen the market push up, making higher highs and higher lows and higher highs and higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And yesterday, a big push, higher high. And then this morning, you know, as I was looking at these charts and trying to work out what I want to get into, what I want to do, I saw the market right on London Open over here. I had it all marked up here. So, you know, if you look over here, if I pretend that you guys were here with me this morning, all right, so let's just say this is about 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. All right. And what I did is I understood it was at the top of the range because I wanted to get into a sell. Because as I keep saying to you, I want to sell this market. Okay, I want to be bearish. So I'm thinking to myself that the market, I was hoping to see a spike up first, taking the liquidity above Asian session, a spike up, taking the liquidity above, you know, these previous London sessions. And then I'll be looking for a lovely entry for the sell because overall that's what I want to be in, even though the market necessarily hasn't shown me that that's what it wants to do as yet. Okay, that's just our EU continuing to push up, or we'll have a look at it in a minute. All right. But what I saw this morning is the market in Asia pushing down here. This is Asian session. Then we saw Frankfurt opening at 6 o'clock. Have a look, follow the candles. All right. And then I'm looking at it. Boom. Let's go over here. In fact, let me go back a bit. Let me go back a bit. Oh, let's go back a bit here. Let's go to our 1 minute time frame. All right. So I'm watching it. This is what I was doing this morning. I'm watching it. I'm looking at this. We're in the Asian session at the moment here, okay? And, you know, I want to see liquidity taken before I do anything. So I've identified, let me get rid of this because this is in the future. I've identified, you know, liquidity above here, this Asian session, yeah, as well as, you know, liquidity above this London session here. They all have alerts on them. You can see over here, liquidity, boom, 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 boom. Watch how what this market does. As soon as London opens this morning, we got this reaction. Wow. All right. As soon as it opened up, we had this reaction in GBPUSD. Okay. EU's pushing up nicely, going towards where I thought it was going to go. 1 second, guys.
What would have caused that? Would it have been some news or something?
Well, you know, this is what I'm thinking. But then again, you know, what happened is yesterday there was a lot of volatility in the market. The market was pushing up consistently. Yeah, pushing up. Someone could say artificially pushed up. All right. And, you know, I didn't see any news this morning. Maybe I've missed it. We'll go and have a look.
Grand Rising, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you there.
Yeah, UK inflation news.
Okay.
7 a.m.
Okay. My mistake. So there you go. So UK inflation news. So what happened? How did it come out? Let's go and check. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it ugly?
Below the expectations. So I believe it's a good thing for the Bank of England cutting interest rates. So yeah, so yeah, very good for Bank of England.
Okay, so we had it's a worse than expected result at 2.2%.
Yeah, they thought it was going to be 2.3.
They thought it was going to be 2.3. We came at 2.2. Higher than expected figure should be seen as bullish for GBP plus. A lower than expected figure, which is what happened. It was bearish for the GBPUSD. Maybe that's what led to that weakening of the British pound, and this market absolutely falling to hell this morning here. But when it did that, have a look how the market is trading within our range still. Do you see this green range that I identified that the market's been pushing up within? Okay, it's been pushing up within this green range from a discount. Okay, let's look at it. Let's zoom out some more. From this discount area, see when you look at it like this, it starts to look really clean. All right, I'm going to get rid of this indicator for a second. I'm going to hide it. This indicator is just showing us about the sessions. It's nothing too complicated. The market's been trading within this green range. Okay, if you can't see that, then you need to get your eyes checked. The market's been trading within this green range, making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Now this higher high over here is up against our bigger Russian doll, white line. And from here, the market could decide it wants to keep pushing up. I don't know. It could decide to. I don't expect it to, but it could do. All right. Now, the market being all the way up here, I'm looking at what is 50% of this impulse. So I'm looking at that. I'm interested in from here to here where 50% is. And we're right kind of up against that wall at the moment. Okay, where we saw that big push from. All right. Now that, in my opinion, is no coinky-dink. Okay, that right here at that 50% level, we saw this market, boom, have a reaction from there. So like I said to you, I ultimately want to be in here for the sell. But when I saw this market push all the way down here very quickly this morning, taking all this liquidity, I'm thinking that it might push back up to these levels. And then from these levels here, then start to sell off. Okay, now what I can also do is I can also use EURUSD as a way in which I can look at both of them. And EURUSD didn't have the same reaction for the reason of what I was just told us. We had this GBP news, and for whatever reason, it wasn't. Europe is not going to be that as sensitive to that GBP news. All right. So what we saw this morning with euro, okay, is that where is the indicator? Where is it gone? It's turned off for everything. Okay, that might be because I've got those free. So what we saw this morning was in euro that we didn't have that huge spike that happened at London Open. And what we actually had was a little push down that took what? What did it take down here? Below Asian session? Yeah, it pushed down and took the liquidity right on, right on open, which you can see here, London. Let me get rid of this because it's a bit of an eyesore. All right, the yellow box is London. That's all you need to know. All right, we saw liquidity taken. Now, when we saw it taken, I'm not going to lie to you, it wasn't very clean in here, me seeing a manipulation W. It wasn't. And I didn't get in straight away here. And I actually had to kind of search for it because I really wanted to get in for the buy, but I wanted to search for at least my rule. Yeah, so on a 1 minute, it didn't really give it to me, but on a 3 minute, this was enough for me to say, you know what, I'm going to take an entry here because I want to be in for the buy. Because I saw it didn't make that same move as GU. And I'm thinking to myself, I know GU's got a spring back, and maybe at that point in time, we might get back into sync with each other. And this was my entry. All right, that was my entry there. And at the moment, we can see how the market is up here for about a 1 to 7, 1 to 8. Now, my concerns is that as this EU is pushed up, it's taken London high liquidity here, okay, which I was a bit concerned about. And, you know, we actually saw, this was a bit of an argument. Let me go to 1 minute. As it took these highs, I was looking at it keenly, trying to see if I can see a manipulation M forming, which I haven't. Because ultimately, I'm thinking to myself, if we're getting back into sync with GU, and I think that GU might be pushing all the way back up here, to the tune of, you know, a good 30 points, I kind of thinking to myself that maybe from down here, that this market might also want to push up similarly about 30 points or so, which is me looking at this other area of liquidity, okay, over here, which I identified on my chart above this little wick here, okay? So the market might want to keep pushing up here to give that same kind of impulse of what's happening in GU. Now, at the moment, it has been doing that, has been going to plan, like as I say, let's look here on the 3 different options, okay? This was the GU entry that's the EU entry, sorry. I wonder if I can move these around. Can you move these around? Don't think you can move them around. Oh, this is the EU entry from down here. The GU entry, again, wasn't something that straight away I was able to see. Even though it spiked down here, I didn't just hit the button on the spike. I kind of waited to see a manipulation break of structure W, okay, on what time frame? I can't recall. On one of these time frames anyway, all right? And when I saw the market dip back into this whole energy, I think it was here, yeah, I got involved, you know, somewhere in here. And the market's currently pushing up. Now, do I think this market's going to go all the way and break above this level? At the moment, I don't. At the moment, this area here is an area. I've actually put a little box already where I'm thinking to myself, I've been looking to take profits, protect myself. I'm thinking to myself that maybe that market may want to turn around here. Why? From here is where we saw the strength and speed. Let's go back to, let's go over here and let's go and look at GU, all right? From that point is where we saw the strength and speed this morning. We had the explosion, okay? And also when I took my Fibonacci on for this entire range, all right, from this entire impulse from up here all the way down to down here, this area is 50% area of the impulse. And I already believe from a bigger perspective, all right, from my bigger Russian doll, that, you know, we've really come and tapped this premium up here. Yeah, and though the market hasn't broken this structure yet, which is a concern, I think it might decide to from here and start trying to break this structure. Maybe. All right. Especially as we've just got inflation news as well come out, which is, I don't know, weakening of the pound. And what we're going to look at in a minute, we're going to look at the BIXY, the BXY, yeah, and see how we feel about it. Currently, I'm just teetering around 4 figures with 3 different trades in GU, EU, and US 30. I'm concerned about the US 30 one the most, okay, and my GU and EU are doing really well. Okay, so I'm concerned that maybe US 30 might take from me. Okay, however, what I would say is just making sure, sorry, just moving things in the right place. What I would say is that US, you know, everything is risk-free. I'm just confirming that. All right, everything is risk-free. Everything is risk-free. All right. Okay, I've just seen something here. All right, so 1 second, guys, because I've got a few positions and I'm just making sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. Sorry, guys. All right. So that's my thought process on GU. All right. We have been tapping in here, making higher highs and higher lows. All right, and higher highs. And we came right into here, into our higher time frame Russian doll ceiling. All right, our higher time frame Russian doll ceiling. Have a look at it. All right, see it? It's in here. It's not even drawn too well, but it's in here. So this is the trajectory this market's been trading down within. Okay, now this is much higher time frame analysis, but for me, it kind of means that us right now around this area is a premium of the premium. Yeah, we're in a premium of the premium. I'm also watching the GBP, not GBP, I'm also watching Great Britain itself burning live on camera on a daily basis. Okay, and I'm looking at all of these factors and thinking to myself, are all these factors that could weaken or strengthen our pound? Now, I can't see strength from a fundamental perspective of just looking at the window, as well as what we see what's going on in the markets. For example, we've seen that in inflation rate news today, was it? Can't remember. Whatever it was, that came out slightly less than what it. Can't remember if it's inflation. Let me not just talk on it. Can't remember what it is. What was it? Economic calendars. What was it?
I think you said interest rates.
Inflation rate. All right.
Yeah,
so the inflation rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
this rate is good for the Bank of England. They have penciled in, i.e., the analysts, 2 more cuts this year. So it's good news for the Bank of England.
it's good news for the Bank of England, but does it weaken the pound? Let's check, because
The pound's going up. I believe CPI today at 130 will weaken the pound.
yes.
US CPI is at 130.
Okay. So maybe this is, just this energy here is just keeping everybody on their toes in regards to pricing and what may happen. All right. So you think CPI later may drive the pound weaker? Let's go look at. In fact, let's just have a look at BXY. All right. Let's have a look at the BXY just to see where we are in regards to structure. Well, it's going to be very similar, I believe, to GU. But let's have a look. All right. So just zoom out. So the BXY is the British pound index. Okay, it's the BXY is the British pound index. Okay, and we're watching it to see exactly what's happening with it. And as we can see here, go to our daily time frame. Again, this is the BXY. It looks very, very similar to our GU, right? Look, bearish overall Russian dollar. Yeah, the trend trading within this little white range. We're right all the way up here on this trend. It's looking all the reasons for this market to, it's in a premium here. So even though the market's been this has been falling, it's falling, and we're in this premium of this falling kind of range. Okay. And, for me, like I said, looking at this market here, everything's very, very similar to our G. We came up here to this higher Russian dollar over here, to the ceiling. We had a reaction from here, broke some minor structure. But again, we haven't quite broken below this low, confirming what's going on. And it might be the case that now this market comes up to the 50% range where we're at right now. It starts to lose strength. All right. And if this starts losing strength, if the US dollar has any type of strength, GU should be coming down. Okay. So I do want to get involved, as I've mentioned, in GU for the sell. I'm just back up well above my 4 figures now, which I'm happy about. Even though US 30 is still mucking about, it looks like I'm concerned about US 30, but it's risk free and it doesn't have any bearing really on that figure. So as you can see here, these trades have been taken this morning based upon our strategy. And it's the most important thing is, even though I actually want to be in for the sell, yeah, but based upon liquidity, taking liquidity from down here in EU, all right, all of this big push down here, taking liquidity, it came from below. I saw our breaker structure manipulation W and was able to get in. Though it was quite complex, it wasn't clean on the 1 minute time frame for both of them, all right? But it was there, and I did see the momentum and that push in here. Now, right now, this EU being all the way up here, in my humble opinion, is that there's no reason, let me go over here and go to EU, Euro, that it doesn't push up and take that little final bit of liquidity above this wick here, okay? And push up, we're all the way over here, there's liquidity here. Even if it wants to go down, why not take this liquidity first? And I actually think that it's possible from an EU perspective that market might continue pushing up a little bit. Jeeve, I'm going to mute you a bit. I can hear some sound effects. All right. That this market might push past this wick and actually keep going. And what I want to do...
Bro, I'm on mute still.
I know, I just muted you. That's why. You was unmuted. Yeah?
Nah, on my screen, I'm muted as well. My bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so what I'm saying is that I'm going to watch that, keep an eagle eye on it, because I want to take all the meat off the bone. I do want to take all the meat off the bone. I don't want... I do not want to... Okay, my US 30 just stopped me out, which is cool. Okay, that was what I was concerned about anyway. And to be fair, I actually prefer not to look at US 30 now. I'm happy just looking at these two. All right. So just get rid of that as well out of here. I don't really want to look at it anymore. GU. Okay, cool. So we can see over here, you know, this market's pushed all the way up into here. Let's look at it on a bigger picture. Zoom out. And we can see that this market, which is EU, I know there's a bit more going on. I'm going to try and clean it up for you guys. In my opinion, has been trading within this green range, making higher highs and higher lows and higher highs and higher. At the moment here, a higher low. We might see this market push up above these levels, grabbing liquidity. Okay, let's zoom out some more and see where we are in the universe with EU, because it's a little bit different looking to GU, though they are definitely, you know, related. Okay, and you know, we're just watching this market at the moment, and I'm thinking to myself that there's a very high probability. I prefer GU structure more than EU. I've always said that. Okay, but I'm thinking to myself, this market's either going to keep pushing up, going to the top of this range, i.e. the market's been in this consolidation range, or we may have a reaction, all right, bearish after grabbing some liquidity. All right, now, do I care and really want to be the oracle that I know everything about everything in regards to when and where this market's going to turn around? No. What I do want to be able to do, like we are here this morning, and you know, despite taking a very small or being stopped out of my US 30, you know, do I want to be able to take out £1,000 or dollars out of this market when I feel like it, based upon what the market's doing? Hell yeah. All right. So if we look over here again, I'm going to try and see this entire range here on GU again. Oh, sorry, I've already done it. I've put in this green line, and this green line is 50% of the impulse. All right. Now the market, like I said, has been bullish, and there is nothing on a bigger time frame, because it hasn't broken this structure to say that this market's going to turn around right now. So though I'm showing and identifying this 50%, why? Because we're right up against this bigger Russian doll level that we tapped into. The market might decide it wants to push up in here. I don't know. All right. I can't say that the market's not going to go and do that. It could do that. That market could decide to go and push all the way up into those levels. All right. And, you know, at that point in time, what could we say? All right. But I'm looking at it right now. I'm just looking at GU, and let's drop down to a smaller time frame. All right. And I'm just wondering, we're taking a little retracement here, but it's around this area that I'm interested at, thinking to myself that this market could turn back around. Yeah. It's kind of around this whole area. I'm thinking this market was a target. We have just got a little impulse bearish with GU. Okay, just made a little impulse bearish, and I'm cool with that. right? I'm watching it, everything's risk-free, and I'm looking at it from a bigger picture of what it wants to do. Now, I don't look at GU here on the 1 minute time frame. It's strange because this isn't showing me, this isn't even showing me the push yet. Look. Oh no, sorry, I rewound. I was just about to start cussing trading view, right? See this little push down here? Now this push down here could just be to capture trend line liquidity. Okay? You see, when you have a trend line, liquidity builds up, you know, outside of the trend line. All right, so if we go up to indication, correction, continuation, this market has just made an indication here, pushing down here, but is it going to correct and continue, or are we going to get back into ultimately over here is where I think this market is more interested in, would be a more interesting area if it decided to turn around and push down. All right, let me zoom out and see, you know, yeah, here was a previous, you know, level, it was. So maybe that's why we had a little reaction, but for me, I'd like to see this market continue back up into these levels over here, okay? And vice versa with EU over here, EU. I'd like to see EU push up and capture this liquidity. Move that out of the way, above here, all right? So I'm going to place my alert on this level here, add an alert crossing up, and I'm not going to be frightened about that little push down in GU, even though it's made my profits go backwards. All right, I'm watching it, and you know, I'd like to see the market come back up and bullish, and this to get above here, and this also to get into this type of area. It would make more sense to me that from there the market's going to is doing something else. Let me draw some lines in. Let's draw some lines in over here. See what's happening. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see that market push back up. It has taken quite a little bit of retracement here. Well, not a big bit, but when you're so small, there's a 1 minute time frame. This looks big on the screen, but it's not. All right. So watching it. All right, watching it. So literally, let's go over recap. I got into this trade regardless. I want to be in both of these markets for the sell. I do. Okay. But we saw liquidity taken from below here, and we saw liquidity taken from below here, and then we trade away from this inducement of it taking liquidity. All right. And, you know, inducing sellers over here. Okay. Thinking to himself, yeah, it's broken out. It's going to go down here. We trade away from it, which we did. And we took liquidity from above the London session over here and the Asian session over here. And I am concerned that maybe, let's have a look, see whether or not the market is now turning around. Because though I want it to go up here, see if we've got what we're looking for. Kind of did get our breaker structure manipulation M in here, and the market has tapped in here. Okay, so with my EU, we kind of did get what we was looking for over here, and it did tap in. I'm just looking at it on my MT5 because I'm getting some real discrepancies on how things are looking. So I'm just having a look here. Yeah, well, look, on our EU, we did get a manipulation M after this liquidity has been taken over here. This liquidity was taken all the way down here. And only after the market pushing all the way up in here, we kind of got this manipulation. It was kind of ugly that the market's tapped into. I still think it wants to come up here. I think, yeah, it's had a little reaction. It's broke a little structure. Okay, which is the first. This is an indication, breaking this level here. If we get a correction and continuation, maybe I can decide to get in for the sell and the market doesn't care about this liquidity. But for now, I think maybe that little push there was just grabbing some trend line liquidity. That's what I think. All right, that's my thoughts. That was just grabbing some trend line liquidity, and it will continue to pull. Here we go, as I speak, maybe pushing up into these levels. Okay, and in regards to the GU, again, I think it was the same thing, just a little bit more violent. Potentially came and it's taken, broken some structure. It'd be interesting to see if we get a retracement and then a correction below. If we do, then maybe I'll be trying to get in for the sell, but this one's a bit more concerning. I'd prefer it got up into here. So right now, maybe there's going to be a little trade from in here, but you can't just hit the button. You know, you've got to have a reason of why you're getting involved. And for me, you know, you can't see any reason in here. Maybe if you dropped really, really small, you'd be able to see, oops, if you drop really, really small, you'd be able to see something that we're looking for, but it's unnecessary at this stage. Yeah, it's unnecessary at this stage. I'm just going to watch it and see what it does. All right, so what have we learned? We've learned that even though Jay wants to be in for the sell overall, this morning I've told you I've been in a buy for all of these markets. Why have I been in a buy? Because I understand how to trade liquidity. In regards to the market, is only going to do something after it grabs that liquidity. All right, and the liquidity was taken from below. So therefore, I'm thinking it's going to run in the opposite direction. Remember our nam, 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 nam? Yeah, that's how I explain it. How I want you to remember it. When liquidity is taken, the market likes to run in the opposite direction. Okay? And we've seen that happen time and time and time again. Okay? Now at the moment, we've seen how the market has been pushing up towards a level. 1 second, I'm just managing my trade. Okay. And I'm saying if the market even really wants to come down, if that's what I believe, then, you know, yes, we've taken some liquidity, but from all the way down here, if this was the meal that it wanted, it took this meal, then it should go. It's still hungry. It's like Pac-Man. It's looking for more food. Where is that more food? In my opinion, it's above here. Yeah, in my humble opinion, it's above here. That the market could make an equal high. It could decide not to. Who knows? Okay. But this little break of structure manipulation M here, yeah, there was a little reaction from here, tapped in, and we're back up in here. You know, I'm going to quickly have a look at Euro NZD. For whatever reason, I glimpsed at Euro NZD this morning, and I saw it was in an interesting area. So let's have a quick glimpse at that, something different, all right? Euro. Euro NZD. And we can see that market was coming up here from this is the Asian session, and the market was kind of ramping and dancing around here, but it got very, very close over here. Have a look at this. It got very, very close to this level over here, above this level where there is a huge impulse pushing down that broke structure. I am also concerned about, yes, this imbalance in here, but I want to watch this. Let's go and look at the bigger picture and see what this market looks like from a bigger picture. Let's go to our daily. All right. Let's go to our daily. Well, I don't love it from this picture. If my lines are correct, I don't love it. Let's zoom out. You know, I don't love. Let me delete everything. Let me delete everything real quick. I don't love this. This is just like a hot mess to me. All right. I'm not looking at everything just, oh, look at this really, you know, clean structure, etc. I'm kind of like, yeah, what's going on here? All right. And even if I do that, I'm kind of in the middle of this range. All right. And we can see how this market is kind of here. And again, we're kind of in the middle of this range. So, you know, even though I saw it, I didn't do the bigger analysis. I think I was trying to type in Euro USD, and then quickly started marking this one up. We can see how the market was, you know, from a daily perspective, because I'm miles out when I was looking at the monthly and stuff. That is very far for us. We can see this market being very, very bullish, making higher highs, this constant bullish green days. Yeah. And then we came all the way up to here, broke this structure. We broke above this structure, indicated, we sat on it, okay, twice, okay, and maybe this market wants to continue pushing up bullishly, all right, on the bigger picture. On a 4 hour, we can see how the market was coming down in here, not breaking this level, all right. This is level, a solid level in here. The market's not breaking. Yeah, that place where the market came and sat on previous structure. Can you see previous battlefield in around here? Previous battlefield. The market's been in there, sitting on there pretty solidly. And let's have a look here. From that battlefield, we've seen the market, we saw the market push down. This was Asian, so this was Asian session, which was a big, it did stuff over the Asian session. Look, had this big push over the Asian session all the way up into these levels. And you know, I personally think that I was looking at it, looking at some different kind of energy over here in regards to some levels over here, but now I've changed my mind. All right, this market has made a big bullish impulse over here, indicating left huge imbalance over here. And what we might find, oh sorry, in fact, I'm correct. Let me come bring it back. We've seen this market here. It might capture the liquidity above this level and make that retracement into this imbalance. All right, might make that retracement into the imbalance, make that retracement back into an area of concern before deciding to go up higher. So we can see over here from this Asian session was over here. Over here was this liquidity that I said. It was interesting here at this point here. Okay, liquidity, even though it was just part of or just before an Asian session. And over here we can see a previous London session liquidity over here. So it's interesting to look at this and maybe see whether this market within our London time frame is going to start giving us what we need now after taking some of this liquidity. All right, which is kind of above this high, but this high is a concern also. And if I see a lovely manipulation M with some displacement, then there may be an opportunity, in my opinion, to sell this market here down, to sell it down wherever that may be into some of these areas here before this market then turns around and decides to continue bullish. Okay, that imbalance is a concern all the way down to here. All right, but that gives an opportunity if we're able to get in here for the sell. Okay, let me see where 50% of the impulse would be. So 50% of this impulse from about down here to where we currently are would be right before, you know, the imbalance. But there's nothing to say the market doesn't want to go to 618 and before then, if you do get a good entry, you'll be catching a lot of pips. All right, so and I'm watching this and seeing whether the market gives any type of hint that it wants to start breaking down. At the moment, there is no hint. Okay, the market might decide it wants to keep pushing up. It wants to go for this liquidity over here and do something else. But it was just something I saw, and I'll say it's something that you can keep an eye on, something different to possibly get. I'm gonna pop a little alert in here, crossing down. I'll pop a little alert in here, crossing up. And we've seen, so this alert for whatever reason is ringing straight away. I hate when that happens. We've seen our GU once again. Let's go and look at GU. I'll leave this over here. GU's coming all the way down here, and I did say if I got an indication correction continuation, then maybe I'd say, okay, cool, this market's ready to keep pushing down, because we are seeing, you know, some differences between these two markets. That probably was it here to here. What was that, 7-8 pips? I could try it, but I'm going to try it, you know, very small here in the GU. I'm going to try very small. I'm going to wait to see whether or not this market, we've seen some, you know, divergence between these two pairs now. Like GU is doing one thing, EU is doing something else. Okay, I'm going to see whether or not we get a tap back into kind of like in this area here. If we do get a tap back into that area, let me zoom out my 5 minute. Maybe this market wants to continue going down now. Maybe GU has had enough, it's weak, swollen to bits. And on that basis, I'm just protecting my EU position of the profits that I have. As in, you know, it looks like it might want to tap into a manipulation M again. All right, and one that's a bit more compelling right now. Have a look on our EU 1 minute time frame. This doesn't look that great when I look at the candles. I haven't seen that displacement that I like to see. It's all a little bit yeah. Okay, it's a little bit yeah in here. So I'm watching it. I am still in for the buy, but very, very tightly protected in regards to where my stop is, and also looking at right now. I'm going to get into GU after seeing the way it's moving, placing my stop in a safe place. So it's a small position, all right, but the way this is moving right now, this has made, what pattern does this guys look like to you? Has anybody seen this pattern before? And it's not, I don't trade just candle patterns, but what does this look like to you? Does anybody first want to tell me what this pattern looks like in GU?
What are you talking about? The impulse going down?
I'm talking about this whole energy, everything that's in this London session. What does it look like?
Is it a bullish flag pattern?
Not necessarily a bullish flag pattern.
Bearish.
Looks like a bearish flag pattern to me. Here's the pole. This is the flag. And what normally happens from there is
So I was looking at EU.
Here, what normally happens, we see it flying out this direction, okay? Which is what is happening at the moment. This market came up here, did this, came up into these levels, and then as soon as I saw this indication correction continuation, which I maybe could have seen any better. Let's look. Yeah, I think I got in a little bit late because I was talking to you guys. Here, for like 8 pips. Maybe this market might push down here, down towards at least previous lows. I'm not trying to say it's going to go to hell right now, so I don't know. So like I said to you, I was more interested in this area here, but there's definitely an opportunity this market count comes and, you know, could possibly get down into these levels over here, okay? Again, it's just a kind of jab of a trade, you know, as a market, because I want to be in for the sell, okay? And the way this GU is moving with so much volatility, yeah, is that I would like to be able to, you know, be involved in that volatility. All right, it's moving volatile from this morning. It's been moving volatile, and it's still moving volatile at the moment. Big push down here, bearish, retracement. Big push down here again, bearish, breaking structure again. All right, making that bearish flag pattern. Does that bearish flag pattern mean it's going to go all the way down here and keep going? No. It can come down here to these equal kind of areas and then start coming back up here if it wants to, because I was concerned about this type of area in here. Okay, the market coming into here, which we fell a little bit short of that. Okay, that little position that I put in there is in there, and it's actually, I made it risk-free straight away because I'm a bit concerned about it. So at the moment the market is, you know, is moving a little bit volatile. Yeah, moving a little bit volatile. So I'm just making sure I can keep an eye on it and manage my risk accordingly. I don't want to be in a position whereby took some good trades this morning. I don't want to just give them back to the market. Okay, I want to be able to watch this. But this here is a bearish flag pattern, and we've seen that this fly out of this end. Now this energy could be done now. Now this bearish push could be done now. Don't get twisted. Just because I say it's a bearish flag pattern doesn't have to go on forever and ever and ever, amen. Okay, so you know, we're watching it here now. This market could decide after coming down here, doing this little bearish flag, taking all this trend line liquidity out, we could then see this market once again decide, because look, we're now at the bottom of this range, this little green range also. We could then see this market decide and wants to come back in here. Very, very possible, because I'm still looking at this EU and wondering how comes we ain't taking this liquidity yet. I'm still in that trade, even though I squeeze out, oh, and have a look at our GU ramping. In front of our eyes, our GU ramping, all right? And potentially making a manipulation breaker structure W, though it's pretty ugly, all right? On a 1 minute time frame, get rid of this. Potentially making a manipulation breaker structure W here. Now, it doesn't mean that much because ultimately, you know, we like to see that when liquidity's been taken, Okay, so this is more, say, part of this flag pattern of it deciding it wants to turn around now. You know, one could say that some liquidity was taken from below here. It was. Below here had liquidity, just like below all this whole trend line area had liquidity. Okay, it's taken that liquidity now. It's made a manipulation breaker structure W. It's come to the top of this range now. We might see this market come back in. Obviously, we always say the middle of the W, which is about here. But the whole candle is part of that. There we go. We've seen EU just take that liquidity here. Interesting. Okay. Just like we thought it was. Great. Now I'm going to squeeze up my profits even more as I watch to see what this market is going to do right now. See, now I'm thinking to myself that EU may want to turn around, or because it was, I didn't love the structure as much. Maybe it wants to just keep pushing up, which would be great. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. It would be great if it just started, you know, the whole narrative that I was saying that the GU wants to do, maybe come and tap back down into this area. This is looking of interest to me, even the way it just jumped into here. And maybe this market wants to push up to the area that I said that I thought that market was going to get to prior to pushing down here and taking this trend line liquidity. And yes, we've seen it come out this bearish flag pattern here, but it doesn't mean it needs to keep going to hell forever. It just means it's done its bearish push right now. If you was able to see this bearish flag, maybe you got in here on some sort of push. Maybe. Let's have a look. Maybe. I don't know. All right. But it doesn't mean it needs to keep going forever. And so I'm watching it right now. I'm not going to be hitting the button in here. I'm not. I would prefer to see this market correct and continue outside of this range. If it does, then maybe then I might say, okay, I want to get back in here for the buy to see this market get into this level here. All right. Maybe. All right. Maybe, because I want to trade away for in this session. This is London session. This was the inducement today, grabbing liquidity in London session. Nam, nam, nam. That's like it's saying, booking a ticket, saying, I've just booked a one-way ticket or a ticket to go north. That's what this session has said to me. It wants to go north in this session. Now, New York could start and be like, forget about north, bro. I'm going south. All right. But during this session, I'm very interested in any trades I take to be away from where the inducement was. All right. So that's why I took this buy. Yeah. Took my profits around here, up here. And the market's backing down in here now after grabbing the trend line liquidity, bottom of the range. And I'm watching it thinking to myself, this market didn't break this little structure here. If I was to draw some dots, this would have been a significant structure. Look, you know, low, or high. Here would have been a place, right? Sure. And then this would be the next place. And this market's come all the way down here, grabbed a little bit of liquidity from here. All right. But didn't close-ish behind that wick. And obviously at that point in time, I'll be looking for an indication. This would be an indication, a correction, continuation. If it doesn't give me that, it was just a liquidity grab. Nam, 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 nam. Pushed all the way back up in here. Closed above this little level in here. Indication now in the opposite direction. It's just made a little correction to here, into this candle that was part of the break, into this level here, which is the middle of the W. And right now, in the next 26 seconds, we might get a close above here, which may, even though if I do that, I'm leaving this imbalance open. If I cover that whole level area, it's about 10 pips. Covering the imbalance is about 8 pips. Covering just here aggressively is about 4 pips. You know, there may be an opportunity here that I might take a little jab here with our GU for the buy, which I'm actually going to do. I'm going to take the jab. Candle's just closed. I'm going to take the jab. We're going to see what happens. I took a very aggressive jab there, okay, meaning where my stop's placed. And let's see if that market continues pushing up, whether it decides it wants to come in here and close this imbalance. If it does, in my instance, here I'd get stopped out. If you decided to do that, you won't get stopped out, okay? And if you decided to do this, you wouldn't get stopped out either. But the way this market is moving, I'm kind of doing tap dance with GBPUSD at the moment, and I'm seeing whether or not my whole ideas are going to come off. You don't have to get involved in this level. You could have got involved straight away from the liquidity grab this morning and taken that trade up, and you're done for the day until you can see the next session grabbing liquidity. All right. Any questions, guys? Any questions?
No,
Any
just taking it in.
Yeah. Like I said, this morning's trades were very clear and made sense based upon our strategy, looking for where the liquidity is being taken from, yeah, and then getting involved, okay. Looking for our breaker structure manipulation W and then getting involved. Now it's just, you know, in my opinion, this GU could push up. So this EU here, so I can confuse, is at a point where it's taking some liquidity, and I'm watching with a keen eye to see if we get a manipulation M breaking some significant structure, or whether this market wants to, let me zoom out, continue pushing up and get up into a premium off this range, which is this green line. Yeah. And let's look back and let's look at some more, try and see if we can find some more structure. Well, there's, you know, quite a lot of imbalance here that I can see on a 4-hour time frame. Probably in here. Okay. There's an imbalance in here. It's difficult to see, but I'm just trying to do it generally. That maybe that market wants to continue pushing up into those levels first. That I'm just watching it. I'm already in the trade. I'm just watching it, seeing what it's going to go and do. It's making good profits. And yeah, just watching it. So like I said to you, if you guys are a bit, you know, okay, what am I going to do next? What's going to be my next play? Your next play is going to be lunchtime. So it's going to be 2 o'clock, looking where we are in the universe. Are we pushing up? Are we pushing down? Have a look at our GBPUSD doing what I thought it was going to do. Look, can you see? Yeah, this is all live. That's in profits as well now. Well, it's in certain decent profits because I was so aggressive with it, to be fair. For a couple candles, it's in okay profits. And to be fair, because it's like a bit of a meh trade, when I say meh trade, I mean it's a bit of a like, I'm just kind of tap dancing with it and I don't want to take any L's. What I will do is I'll protect myself as quickly as possible. All right. Why am I doing that? Because this isn't a 10 out of 10 trade. This is me just understanding that I know which way this market's tap dancing, but this market could decide at any moment in time just to drop the shoulder and go, hey, could do that. So I don't want to take an L for no reason, and I took good profits. So right now I'm in good profits with this, and because it was so aggressive, you know, that little position that I've just taken in GU is already up $400. I just don't want to go and take an L, make it go from $400 to minus when I know there's this concern in here, etc. And I just don't need to be. All right. So like I said, when I say a jab of a trade, that's what I kind of mean. You know, it's a bit of a jab of a trade, and is what it is. All right. You see, right now it's coming down to stop me out. If it does, is what it is. Because right now, watch EU. EU now is doing, you know, and I'm watching both of them because they both kind of inform each other. Even though sometimes one moves out of step, I'm looking at EU and I'm thinking, right, EU just took that liquidity. You know, is it now doing what I look for? I don't know. This candle kind of closed here, you know, but it was looking like it was making a big old manipulation in. All right. Not quite the way I like it. I want to see it breaking that middle point. So I'm watching it still. All right. I am watching it still, moving my stops, making sure that I'm safe, making sure that I'm trading responsibly in regards to my risk. Guys, amazing, amazing, amazing day. I want you to go for full your potential. Keep your head up. Things get difficult, and keep plodding on. I'm going to put a video on 9 secret habits that made me a millionaire. All right, guys, have an absolutely fantastic day.